Yeah, here we go.
We're going?
All right. I think so. I fixed the problem from last week, and I made sure I checked the microphones before we started streaming, so we should be
Thinking
good.
smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the comic book preview stream for this week.
Hey, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, the best day. Well, except for Wednesday when the books go on sale.
Oh yeah.
But we work in a comic book store, so we get to read them a day in advance, which is
this is my Wednesday.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So thanks everybody for checking it out. That's right. Yeah, big pro move to check the mics. Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully you're all finding us at our new time. I think we're gonna try and keep it at 7:30 like this. Hopefully it's a little easier for everybody to kind of check it out during the stream and just have fun with us because that's what we're here to do is have fun and talk about comics. So let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about some comics. As you all know, what I like to start it out with.
Facsimiles.
That's right. So tomorrow, Godzilla King of the Monsters #1 comes out.
Ooh.
This is the Godzilla comic that was published by Marvel in 1977, I believe, when it first came out. And this has some very cool art by the legendary Herb Trimpe, who he was a Marvel bullpen artist in the 60s and 70s. He drew a lot of great Hulk comics.
I like that one.
Yeah.
That's a cool
It's kind of
panel.
funny too. What's neat about seeing this book, what I like about these facsimiles, is because this is a Godzilla comic, but it's before the licensing image of Godzilla was like really totally settled. So I'm sure Toho was like, he's just a big lizard, just draw him, he's a
Yeah.
big lizard, and they're just
Like, that looks like a dinosaur more than Godzilla.
right. It doesn't look like what you think of Godzilla now. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure when people make Godzilla comics now, they have like a sheet that they're working off of that tells you exactly how he's supposed to look. So it's kind of interesting seeing this weird like off model Godzilla. Another neat thing about this comic is that it does take place in the Marvel universe. As you can see, that's Nick Fury right there,
No.
and Dum Dum Dugan. Like the whole story involves Shield.
I'm sorry, what was his name?
Dum Dum Dugan.
Is he
He
a
wears
dum-dum?
no, but he wears the bowler.
Oh,
That's his nickname, Dum Dum. And so it's like the Shield helicarrier there, and it's like about them just trying to stop Godzilla, and
Oh.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the I like the old comics, so I'm definitely a sucker for this. It's a pretty dense book, but very very cool. I like this little. There's this back page they kind of talk about the goal. Yeah, the odd interpretations are great. Exactly. I like this. There's this little drawing in here. Let's see. Cockrum? Oh, is that by Dave Cockrum? I think it is. Of Godzilla stepping on the Hulk. You can't really see that it's the Hulk. But the dialogue says, you just wait till Hulk gets angry enough. Hulk will come there and smash you. And they're kind of just talking about how they want to keep a lot of the Marvel superheroes out of the Godzilla comic because they just want it to be Godzilla. But it does take place in the Marvel Universe, and so they kind of tease this idea that Godzilla might fight a superhero in the future, but it's mostly just going to be Godzilla wrecking cities with Shield trying to stop him. But you know what? It's a classic run. I can't remember exactly how many issues they did. I've got a couple like that I've gotten in back issues, and there's at least 20 something issues that ran for a couple of years back in the 70s. But yeah, so very excited for this one. I know there's some Godzilla fans out there who probably will enjoy it too, just because hey. It's Godzilla. Who doesn't want to read Godzilla?
Everybody loves Godzilla.
You know what? I think Godzilla's been popular for a long time, but I do kind of feel like Godzilla is having another moment right now. I don't want to say more popular than ever, but between the Godzilla Kong movies that have come out, and then also Godzilla -1 that came out late last year, I believe, which I finally saw that recently, and Godzilla -1, I have to say, actually probably the best Godzilla movie I've ever seen. I really loved it. Yes.
I still haven't seen it yet.
Needs more Mothra. Yeah. You know what? That's interesting. I don't know if any of the other like Godzilla kaiju show up in the Godzilla comic. Oop. I'm just so mad. I'm shaking the whole room. I think it is just Godzilla. There might be other monsters, but I don't. I haven't read them all. I don't really know. I wish they would. I think there might be a collection of it out there somewhere.
It'll be a weird off-brand Mothra.
You know what? It probably would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they won't call it Mothra. It'll just be some weird thing like Butterfly.
Love it.
But yeah, Godzilla. I like Godzilla. Godzilla's cool. All right. What's I talked enough about facsimiles. What's something that you're excited about this week, Celeste?
So this Realm of X. I
Realm
don't
of
read
X.
a ton of X-Men, specifically because it's hard to jump into. But my coworker suggested this one, so I read it as the comics when it was coming out. And
Okay.
here's the trade.
So, Realm of X. Now this has magic in it.
Yeah. So it has
is that-
if I can remember all their names. It's Magic, Mirage, Morrow, and Dust are in this one.
Dust. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So they show up in this weird realm, and they're trying to find this girl. She's like a little girl. Her name's Chaos, and she's
Mhm.
pink. So I kind of love her already. But she's just running around, and her superpower is super weird. It's just chaotic, essentially. And so she'll make wishes, and then they come true. And so they're chasing after her and trying to get out of this realm. And there's this whole prophecy about these 4 people showing
Mhm.
up, and they're either going to save the planet or doom it. So it's a lot of fun. I liked it. It was easy
that,
enough to jump into. Yeah, so that's her. That's Chaos.
That's Chaos. Okay.
Yeah, what a cutie. But yeah, I had a lot of fun reading it. And for someone who hasn't read any of the other X-Men books, really,
Mhm.
because I think this picks up right after another issue. It was easy enough to read because it's
Yeah.
all in another universe.
Oh, there's Marrow.
Yeah, and I have a somewhat of a handle on the characters already, so I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I liked that one. If you like reading X-Men, I highly suggest this guy.
There's so many, like, so this is part of the Krakoa era of X-Men books, and there's so many books that are all like disconnected and then connected in weird ways that can be really hard to follow.
Yeah.
But you said you had no trouble with this one. This
Not
one is
really.
part of the tail end. I believe this is after the gala, after the
Hellfire
after the
Gala.
Hellfire Gala, after the aftermath, where
Yeah.
spoiler alert, a bunch of characters get killed, and this is them like dealing with the aftermath of that. Okay, that's neat. Well, Magic. So I'm a pretty big X-Men fan.
Susie
Sorry,
likes the
Susie.
man bun.
Yeah, yeah, Susie. Do you like my man bun? I think it looks pretty good. My wife
Yeah.
tells me that it looks great, and I don't know if I trust her opinion. But
No, it looks good.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot she's watching the stream. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. No, like I'm a huge. Yeah, it is more like a man poof. If I put it up higher, it looks like a samurai top knot, but not like a real one, like a video game one where it's like extra big and
Yeah. 'Cause you don't have real hair. It's all just
it's doll
fake
hair.
character looking hair.
Yeah, it's called Fashion Sweaty. Look it up. But yeah, I love X-Men. I collect a lot of X-Men comics, and I gotta be honest. I know she has her fans out there. I've never actually been that big of a fan of Magic.
Really?
Really,
That's why
I know.
I read it, because I love her.
I know everybody really
Yeah.
likes Magic. Now, to be
Right.
fair, I know. We got a few things to talk about here. My opinion might change. I haven't read a lot of the classic New Mutants stories, which is where Magic really becomes like the character that she is. That's where she was introduced.
Yeah.
Do you know that Magic is Colossus's younger sister? So
Who
that's
dat?
yeah, Ilyana
okay,
Rasputin.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
she's Colossus's younger sister.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it together, Celeste. But yeah, so
Try my best.
I've not been a big fan of the character whenever I see her show up, but I'm eager to read because I recently acquired all of the old New Mutants issues, so I'm eager to read them and see if my opinion of her changes. Yeah,
Yeah.
Magic is a gay icon now. I don't know if that was a thing, like that's just a thing as the character developed. I'm kind of curious to see what the hype is about. I guess you
mean,
could
all
say.
the X-Men are just a little gay.
I mean, that's like baked into the premise of the
Yeah.
X-Men.
Yeah.
But okay.
I first saw Magic in the movie New Mutants, because that was before I started working here.
Yeah,
I
wow.
loved her character.
That
Yeah.
that movie wasn't that old though. Like that. I mean, it was like in production for like
4 or
5
5
years.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Let's see. Well, let's talk about more Magic
More
comics.
Magic. Yeah. So this
Okay.
one is coming out this week. #1, and it's part of the Blood Hunt series.
Ooh, Blood Hunt.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure is all just vampires.
It's all vampires.
Okay, cool.
We
I
haven't
haven't read
talked. We
any
haven't
of
talked
the
about.
others.
We haven't talked about Blood Hunt that much on the stream. I read the first issue and we talked about it, and I just like I guess I apologize to all you Marvel readers, but I just can't do like events and crossovers that much anymore. So I read the first issue, and I have to admit, I thought it was okay. I didn't I didn't totally hate it, but I there's so many different Blood Hunt books out there right now.
There's a lot.
So I'm curious to hear what other people have to say about it. So like this one, for example, this is Magik, the X-Men character, but in a story that's tied into Blood Hunt.
Yeah, so this is a one shot,
Oh, okay.
which is why I picked it up, and also because I love her character Magik. Oh yeah,
Jezebel
you actually
says
liked the New Mutants.
she likes the New Mutants
I loved
movie.
that movie, and I don't know if that's because I was young when I watched it or not. Because I heard a lot of people say that they didn't like it, but maybe it's like people who read the comics
Yeah.
first. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't see the movie, so
I liked the movie. It was good.
Well, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Did you read this whole issue, this Magik issue?
Yes.
All
And
right.
I really liked it. It is.
Does she kill
very much
vampires in it?
Yeah, a lot. And it does feel like a one shot where the story is wrapped up, no loose ends. So I loved that. But yeah, she just looks so cool with her sword. Come on, and she's got portals, killing monsters, killing vampires, saving humans. So that's all that this is, and I loved it.
This who's the artist in this? Jesus Hervas. It looks pretty good. Like a lot of times I'm pretty down on Marvel artists because lately it seems like they just get really cheap.
There she is.
But yeah, this looks okay. Maybe it's just something with the colors that's working, but you know it's a good looking book.
But I love when she strong woman.
Yeah.
When she proves people wrong.
Yeah, take that. Let's see. I have another X-Men book to talk about.
Another one.
This is not a new book though. This is a epic collection of Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely's new X-Men. Now, this series came out in 2002, I think, or 2001 when it first came out. And I was just telling you I'm a huge X-Men reader. This might be, in my opinion, the single best story the X-Men have ever had, is in New X-Men by Grant Morrison. There's a bunch of different artists, but it's all the most of the work is predominantly done by Frank Quitely, who is a regular artistic partner to Grant Morrison. This Emma Frost has the most ridiculous costume design.
What even?
It's like an inverted version of the original one. It's so weird. But this is such a really great comic, and it's been Marvel has not done a good job of keeping it collected over the years, so it's been really hard for me to recommend it to people because they don't like the trade paperbacks have been out of print. So I'm very excited that they're finally getting it back. Beast is more like a Beauty and the Beast type beast, not just the ape man. He's like more cat-like.
Oh my god, he's got the little glasses.
And he's got little spectacles.
The popped collar.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this story introduces at the time the new villain Cassandra Nova, who is Professor X's evil twin sister, essentially.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh yeah, I've seen her.
Yeah,
before.
she's been in comics before, and rumor has it she's gonna be, or not. It's not a rumor. She is gonna be in the Deadpool Wolverine movie that comes out.
What?
Yeah. So she's a pretty epic villain that originates in this story. Tying into what you were talking about earlier with that Realm of X series, the character Dust also makes her first appearance in this run. I don't know if it's in this volume though, because she doesn't actually do a whole lot. She just mostly is just created as a character and is around.
Doesn't she make like sandstorms?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that is her thing.
Okay.
But like I said, she's barely in it. A lot of characters were created in this run because like what's notable about it, I don't know if I can find a good page real quickly, but I really like that Grant Morrison did a good job of bringing back the school setting to the X-Men. So
that's what I think of when I think of X-Men.
Me too, yes. And well, I don't want to keep flipping through this thing forever. But so there's a lot of characters. A lot of characters were created in this run because they're just like, well, it's a school, so now there's a bunch of new mutants, which is essentially what the New Mutants book was in the '80s. But Grant Morrison was bringing it all together into the new X-Men. So that's where you had characters like Glob and Armor first appeared in this series. There's a lot of characters, like if you watch X-Men '97, you saw a lot of those characters in the background. They all originated in New X-Men. So highly, highly recommended. I have a hard time picking an actual favorite X-Men comic because it's a toss up either between Grant Morrison's new X-Men run, which is like 45, 50 issues, or the entire 17-year run of Chris Claremont from like Uncanny X-Men 94 all the way up to like 300
Wow.
whatever he was on. That's yeah,
Wow.
it's
a lot.
it's hard to narrow it down that much further. Another big book. Let's talk about real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, strong guy representation. Yes, I love Guido. Strong Guy is a great character. Another giant book that comes out tomorrow that also I think is a long time coming is Lobo,
Yeah.
the first compendium. This is a big book. This is like
huge.
it's like 1,200 pages, and it collects all the earliest like first couple of like decade of Lobo comics. Uh, it has his first appearance, which is in I guess I should. There we go. So we got Lobo, the big Fraggin Compendium 1. That's his first appearance in Omega Men, and he looks totally different than he ends up later. But I really like the character of Lobo. When you get to the series that's written by Keith Giffen and illustrated by Simon Bisley, it's just so I don't know. Like it sounds like kind of an overused descriptor, but it's just hardcore. Yeah, yeah. Logo uses that book to knock people out. Exactly. Like Logo is just or Logo. Lobo is just it's like I think what makes it work too is that Lobo like when he gets the good version of the character. I mean, as you can just see, just like look at this cover of just him biting his lip and the squinty eye. He's like a crazy super violent macho character, but he works because it's played for laughs. Like he's kind of a it's a comedic tone. It's similar to Deadpool, not like tonally. Like Deadpool is a lot like I think stupider than Lobo.
Yeah.
And
Dumb
there's a lot of dumb
Yeah.
comedy. Whereas Lobo, there is some like immature comedy, I guess you could say, with Lobo, but he just Peacemaker vibes. That's actually a good That's like the current new version of Peacemaker. There's a little bit of that to like the old Lobo. Like he just like the character was very serious in what he did, but the stories were funny because of that. Because
I'll
he's
be
just
honest,
so
I have no
hardcore.
idea who Lobo is.
Lobo is awesome.
No.
Do you not even remember we talked about Lobo like whenever the last issue of Superman came out because Lobo's currently appearing in the current Superman arc.
Yeah, but like I look
Superman
at his face,
teams up
I
with
don't-
Lobo.
I don't recognize that face.
Well, it's a face only a mother could love. Uh, but this compendium just collects all these great series. That's Lobo's. I think it's his kindergarten teacher that is trying to hunt him down, or I mean that he's.
That is a sick character right there.
Yeah, no, like Simon Bisley's character designs are great,
Yeah.
and he's trying to escort her somewhere. I just read this series not too long ago, and I'm already blanking on the specifics.
Aren't you like halfway through the book? I saw the bookmark there.
I put this bookmark in here because there's a specific issue in this compendium. It's like about halfway through, as you can see here. But it's something that I've been wanting to read for a long time, and I never got a chance to. And now I can. It's the extra hilarious parody story, Lobo Cop.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it's like a full on. It's Lobo as RoboCop, and I've been wanting to read this for a long time.
You're kidding.
Yeah, there's even like a little legal notice. It's LoboCop. It's not RoboCop.
That is so funny.
Yeah, it looks great. It's supposed.
Wait,
There we go.
Go
Look.
back a little bit.
Uh huh.
Is that a Dalek?
That's a Dalek.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
yeah, that's right.
This is so
Look at that, like Lobo as RoboCop, Frag all Crims. I cannot wait to read this. So yeah, this compendium.
Wow.
If you've heard of Lobo, if you maybe have all the Lobo issues, but you don't want to dig them out and you just want them all in one place, this compendium is the place to do it. It is hefty.
Just one fat book.
One big
all right
fat
there.
Lobo book. More Lobo than anybody could ever want. But it, like I said, it compiles a lot of different appearances, not just his main series, also like some other issues, and because there was a lot of specials too. There's like the Lobo Christmas special, the Lobo Cop book, So it's all in one convenient, handy place. Super cool.
I kind of want to read that Lobo Cop.
I'm definitely gonna read it, but I think you should. Lobo's great. All right, I've talked enough for the last 10 minutes. What do you got for me? What did you read this week?
Ooh. Feral.
Feral.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so I'm really liking
you're
this
still?
one.
Are
Did
you
you?
still reading this?
Yeah.
I couldn't read past the first issue. It's too traumatizing.
Well, yeah, I cried a little bit, but like,
Okay, only a little though.
yeah. So this one is definitely a lot darker.
That's the.
Than
I mean, this is issue 4, so this is like the low point in the story.
yeah, a lot happens in this one in this issue. But it's kind of about rabies, I guess. There's a plague going around infecting all the animals, and so the
Mm-hmm.
CDC is saying that any animal, even if you know them, they're just gonna get shot on sight, essentially, and it's so sad and
Oh my
devastating.
goodness.
But we find some backstory for this little guy, and he's
Mm.
the kitten of
He's
the group.
yeah.
He's
He's
like
like
very
the
young, very childish. Oh yeah,
energetic.
these pages were a lot of fun because they turn on the TV remote and discover TV.
Oh
They're
yeah.
like, oh yeah, it's
There's
not real, but it might be real.
there there's food right there.
Yeah. I like that they still act like cats, very
Mm-hmm.
much acting like cats, even though they're fully talking characters.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then you gotta warn me if I turn to a page that's trauma.
just don't go past that page.
Okay, we'll just stay right here. We're
Yeah,
not gonna go
just
past.
right there.
Look at that dog.
What a cutie.
What a cute dog. I hope nothing horrible happens in relation to them letting that dog in the house.
I don't want to say nothing.
Are you? Are the face you're
Nothing-
making
nothing
really
bad
makes me
happens.
think something might happen.
Nothing bad happens.
Okay, good.
That is a lovely dog right there.
It looks like a cute dog.
Yeah. Great issue. Loved
Yeah.
it. I love the whole series. I highly recommend it to people. But you do
Mhm.
kind of have to power through if you're an animal lover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Very sad.
I would like to. I'll probably read it when it's all out, like collected. But like, I don't want to like force myself to re-experience it every month, like with every new
You
issue.
know it's better because otherwise you'll just be sobbing by the end of it. This I tear up a little. Next couple weeks go by and then I tear up just a little.
No, I don't want to tear up a little every couple of weeks. I just want to do it one and done and get it over with and get it all
yeah.
out.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah, I think that's how I have to do it like that. A few other books that are in my pull, we're just gonna briefly show off, just because I like to do that, because that's my right as a guy that works in a comic book store. I'm loving the new GI Joe, I'm sorry, this is the old GI Joe series, but I'm still loving it, and I'm just
You like G.I. Joe?
I like GI Joe. You might
Who would've
have heard.
thought?
It's like what a spoiled time for me that there's like so many multiple GI Joe books coming out every month. That's I never would have thought that would happen. This is the series that's written by Larry Hama, the original series creator, and man, he's like 82 years old and still going strong. Like it is such a cool
wow.
book. Yeah, that is Serpentor Khan, and he's currently like a undead zombie character.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
That's kind of really dope.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like the art, I think that's another thing too. Like the art in this book is really good. That's like been a common criticism among like for the GI Joe books is that the art has been inconsistent for the last decade or so since they brought it back. But man, the artist that they have on it right now, Paul Pelletier, he's just killing it. It looks great, and the colors. I think it goes a big way. Makes a big difference too. Francesco Segala, like I really like the style of it. Like it has like these like faux zipatone dots on it that give it like a comic book look. I guess is the only way I can describe it.
Easy it is to see all the lines and read what's going on because sometimes things can get blurry in the background and muddled. This looks very
It's
crisp.
really like crisp.
Yeah,
no, that's a good way to put it. It's crisp, especially like with so many colorful characters.
Yeah.
Really good book. Another book. We're just gonna move right on into it. Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives.
Ooh, that's
and
a
there's
beautiful cover.
two great covers. Yay! This is Jessie Bell's favorite book. I've been getting both covers because I just can't pick between them. They're both just so great. And this is issue 3, written by Dan Waters and Ram V. Art by Matthew Roberts, and I really like this story. This is just it's very cinematic, and so it kind of moves. It reads pretty quickly. Like I think it's just the 4 issues, but
Oh wait, that was a
Yeah, that's a beautiful page.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Look
like
at that
this
spread.
title page. Like, yeah, very very cool. I like that. You got the creature there swimming up to her,
Wow.
and it's just really good. There's like kind of a big thing that happens in it. I don't want to spoil, but there's an element of body horror in this issue.
Ah.
Just like a lot of like creepy stuff going on. This book has been it's really good. Uh, just saw Creature Times TMNT mashup action figure today. Yes, yeah, that's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They do a whole horror line where it's like it's like the Ninja
Oh
Turtles
yeah,
as
those.
movie monsters. So like Leonardo as Dracula, and I think it's Donatello as the creature. I can't remember, or he might be. One of them's the Mummy, and one of them's Frankenstein. I don't remember,
Yeah. They look
but
really cool.
they do. Yeah, they look great. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this creature from the Black Lagoon comic. It is really cool, and this cover is actually like really creepy because it's like a human hand like crossed like stitched together with like a creature hand or something. It's really actually really gross when you really look at it. Is this the last book? No, this is not the last book in the series. I think there are 4 issues if I remember correctly. So this is the like the penultimate issue, and that's why I won't spoil the final page because it's kind of like the big moment that leads to the what's
The
going to be the big
finale.
finale in the
Yeah.
next issue. There just dropped all my comics on the floor. Okay,
Wow, you and throwing comics. All
I've
the
been doing
time.
it all day today. What
I
else
have-
you got for me here?
I got 4 more.
You got 4 more? I got a big stack here. But let's tell me
Okay.
something that you're
So,
excited about.
We got Spider Gwen, Ghost Spider.
Ghost Spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is issue 2. And I read the first one. I don't think I talked about it. I can't quite remember. But yeah, so Gwen basically shows up in this universe and is put there by the TVA and is said, you can't use your powers, can't use the
Wait,
suit.
what's the TVA?
The Time Variant Association.
Right.
think-
Okay. No,
I
that
think.
thing. I forget that that's a thing, but it is a thing. Yes. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go on.
Okay, so the whole like what Loki was doing in that one
From the Loki show, the show
Yeah,
Loki.
I don't know comics, but from the show. So anyway, the TVA
the
places
authority.
her here.
It's the Time Variance Authority.
Oh, okay, yeah. Does the TVA originate in a comic book?
Not that I'm aware of, but it
I
could.
have no idea.
If it originated within the last 10 years, it's very possible, and I wouldn't know about it. But I thought it was from the Loki show, like
See,
where
that's
it
what
came
I
from.
thought too. But also, I haven't read any comics
People-
with the TVA in it until this issue.
Sound off in the comments section if you know. Yeah, they will be in the Deadpool movie for sure. 'Cause
Ooh,
it's,
okay.
Yeah, that's like the whole Deadpool thing is going to be like multiverse stuff, and hopefully it's
I've
funny.
kept away from spoilers for the Deadpool movie. I am so excited for it.
That's
actually.
smart. I think you should.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
back to this comic.
Yeah.
So basically, she uses the suit, because she can't just let people get in harm's way. She has to intervene. And
Of course.
then obviously all her little spider buddies notice, and they're asking her like, "Why are you here? Essentially, why'd you move universes and not tell us?" And she can't tell them. So they kind of are at a distrust, and then this is the main villain, and he is a shapeshifter.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
So-
Craven is the main villain, but then there's this.
Yeah, they all were like, "But Craven was dead, and now he's back."
Whoa.
What? And so, yeah, trying to avoid too many
Wait,
spoilers,
is it?
but this
I
is
mean,
just issue 2.
legitimate question. It's okay if you don't. Is it the Chameleon? Is that the villain? The Chameleon is a Spider-Man villain who can shapeshift.
Oh, then probably.
And he also has ties to Craven the Hunter. Because they're both Russian. As I've probably explained before, back in the '60s, all of Stan Lee's villains were Russian because it was just easier to just make the Russians the villains.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I want to do spoilers.
You don't
for
have to
everybody,
spoil
but
nothing.
for
Yeah.
you.
Oh, for me.
Does it
Uh,
look like that's? the
Yep.
Chameleon?
It says. Read the text, Celeste. Oh my God, we're done talking about this.
It was like right
It
there.
said the character's name right there on the page
My brain
in the
just-
panel that she was pointing at, and she's like, "What does this look like?" Oh my goodness, Celeste.
What?
It's okay.
I have to read fast.
It's true. I skim stuff all the time. Speaking of skimming and skipping things, There are two books that come out this week. Two Superman books, I should
Ooh,
say.
okay.
There is Action Comics number 1066 and Superman number 15. Uh, oh, oh my gosh! Comic industry fun fact. Are you going to give me a fun fact? Oh, it originated
yeah.
in the late '80s.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't totally surprise me. It's
Yeah.
anyway.
Thanks for checking up on
Well,
that.
what book did it originate in? Let me know, Susie.
Go back to
Like,
Google.
Come on. Where?
We
What?
need facts.
What did it appear in?
Who's the
now
author?
I need to
Who
know.
created it?
Yeah.
wow.
Man, I can't read all of that. Jeez. Oh, Simonson and Sal Buscema, and it was originally in Thor, maybe.
Thor 372.
Thor. Okay, well there you go. So
in
that.
1986.
Well, you know what? I think I've talked about this before, but I actually have a little bit of a blind spot for Thor. I read a lot of Spider-Man and X-Men.
Man, get it
and
together.
I know. I just got like 20 random 80s issues of Thor, so I'm looking forward to reading them
Nice.
and maybe getting further into that. But so okay, that makes sense that it appears in Loki then, if it originated
Yeah.
in Thor. Well, good for them. I'm glad that you guys could school me on that. All right, let's talk about Superman. Imagine an Aaron Walters. There's no S in my name, Susie. It's just Aaron Walters. It's I'm singular. Clone that works at Marvel in the 80s, and they based a canon council around him. Yes, there's no S in my name. Like,
Come on, Susie,
it's
get
like
it together.
referring to Clark Kent's. It's just Kent. So both of these issues come out this week. Quit distracting me. I'm trying to talk about Superman. These are both. This is the variant cover here, but let's open it up and boom, there's your main cover. I really, by the way, I think I talked about this. I really like that DC's doing this for the variants. It's just like an extra cover around the main cover, so you actually kind of get both covers in a way.
I love that.
Yeah, so I really like that they do that. So there's been the House of Brainiac crossover in the Superman books, and this is Action Comics 1066 has part 5, and then Superman number 15 has part 6, and I'm not even embarrassed to say that I read them in the wrong order, because I just wasn't really paying attention, and I just picked up Superman, and I started reading it, and I really didn't feel like I missed out on all that much. I was just kind of like following the story from the previous issues, and I'm like, okay, I guess something happened that I forgot about, because that happens when you read so many comics. You just, as I'm sure Celeste, you can attest, you just forget things. So I was reading it, and I'm like, I guess something happened that I forgot about, and then I picked up Action Comics, and I was like, wait a minute, this is part 5, this is part 6. Oh well. But
at
this,
least you could like fill in the gap.
Yes. Walters wouldn't be the best continuity expert in this metaphor. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so this I was happy to see that this ends the House of Brainiac story arc, because I enjoyed it. I've been talking about this Superman series by Joshua Williamson a lot, pretty much for the last year. But it has been a little much. I was talking earlier about not reading Blood Hunt by Marvel, because like events and crossovers, it's just a lot, and I always feel it's like really indulgent, and I get burned out on the story by the end of it. And even though this was only a 6-issue story told in the span of 3 months, it just, I got kind of like, by the end of it, I was ready for it to be done. And so
it's over now.
It's over now, yeah. Okay. And it's leading into the next event that DC is doing, which is Absolute Power. And this issue also comes out this week, Absolute Power Ground Zero.
See, I've been seeing a lot of people pick this up. I was putting it in everyone's polls.
Yeah, this is the big DC event for this this summer. It's written by Mark Waid and illustrated by Dan Mora, who are two creators that I really, really like. I've been talking about them a lot they're doing the Batman Superman World's Finest series for the last 2 years. And it's really good. And this story looks like something I'm not that super interested in. It looks like it's like the quick pitch is the main character and villain is Amanda Waller, who's in charge of the Suicide Squad, and it looks like she's trying to basically turn all superheroes into the Suicide Squad, and so she's trying to like take down Superman and Batman and all the big heroes so that she can have everybody under her control. and it's, I've never particularly I liked the Suicide Squad
Squad.
movie with
Doing great.
Peacemaker, and I liked the Peacemaker show well enough. But I'm not like, I just never had any particular attachment to the character. So this looks like it's a like kind of a dark story that's going to set the tone for
Yeah.
the next couple of months.
She's a good villain. Like I hated her.
She's a good villain, yeah,
I hate her
and
so much.
she's, I'll tell you this much, she's very very hateable in this story. Like
Okay.
she's at her absolute worst in this comic, which
Love to see it actually.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
at that point, I'm just like, well, why? I see my brain. I start overthinking it, where I'm like, okay, she's basically just a villain now. So why is like everybody kind of going along with this just because she works for the government? Like, surely, maybe that's, I have to put a little bit of faith into Mark Waid as a writer, because I think that is probably something he will address in the story. But because like it's so over the top with how villainous she is, where I'm just like I almost can't buy that this would happen.
Also, people tend to just go along with things.
That's
to be fair.
That's very true, and so I won't
are
doubt.
sheep.
Yeah, tell you preaching to the choir on that one.
Yeah.
So I don't doubt that that'll probably be a part of the story too. But yeah, so this Absolute Power Ground Zero, this is like a preview, a prelude, if you will, to the main series. So this actually has a couple of different short stories in it by different creators. The events of the House of Brainiac crossover lead directly into this, so I'm like reluctantly kind of gonna pay attention to this crossover because I've been really enjoying Superman, and the next Superman issue is a tie-in to Absolute Power, so
Okay.
we'll see how it goes. The other thing I'll give it is that it's only 4 issues, so I really appreciate.
Easy.
Yeah, exactly. 4 issues is like nothing. Although even Blood Hunt is only 5. Like, gone are the days when it's like a 12-issue crossover.
5 is pushing it.
5 is-
For me, it's 4 and below.
4, yeah,
Easy.
I have to completely agree with you on that one. Okay, what else do you got for me, Celeste?
What else? I got this beautiful little.
Skin Deep, is that what that is?
Yeah, Skin Deep by
All right.
Flo Woolley. And I don't know if you can tell,
It's a little,
like the
like,
shiny
shiny,
cover.
yeah.
It's beautiful, beautifully done. So it is. Wait, I think it said so nicely on the back, and I have such a way with words. So
Let's
a
watch.
queer
let's watch
horror
Celeste
romance comic set amongst the dim lights and graceful bodies of a nocturnal dance house.
read.
So
Nocturnal
it is.
Dance House.
Yeah, they're just dancers.
Dancers.
There's nothing adult in there, I will
Uh-huh.
say. It's all just
I mean, it's
for,
a creepy looking cover. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
But basically, it's kind of this curse that's going on with one of the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a beautifully done. I love the artwork.
Is there any pages in here I shouldn't flip
No,
to?
see, that's why I'm
Okay.
like, it's very PG in that
Okay.
aspect. There's just some horror to it. But I love the pop of green that's used all throughout this comic.
Yeah, I like the style. And
Yeah, and the way it shows the flow
Mhm.
for the dance moves. I loved this one. It was a nice, short little horror
I was gonna
story.
say it's short too,
yeah,
which I can
like an
appreciate.
indie comic.
Yeah.
So I recommend this one.
Looks
for
a little
anybody. Yeah.
Gives me vibes from the movie Suspiria. Have you seen or heard of that? There's 2
No.
of them. It's an old horror movie from the 70s. It's an Italian film.
Oh,
And then there was a remake several years ago, an American film, and they're both wildly different, but they're really good. They're about witches that run a dance studio,
ooh,
and
okay.
yeah, you would actually probably really like it. Except the new one is really like gross, like body horror, like people getting like distorted and put into human pretzels and stuff.
Maybe.
Definitely not a
Maybe.
PG film. Correct. Jesse
Okay.
Bells is correct. Definitely not a PG film.
Good to know.
But yeah, they're neat. But yeah, so you like this? Did you read the whole thing?
Yes.
All
love
right.
it. So yeah, if you're into horror and gay,
Gay
this
horror.
one. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Okay. Let's see. I got a couple of more books to talk about. I'm going
I have
to.
2.
You got 2? All right. Well, I'm going to talk about one. This one I don't need to talk about too much. I think everybody knows what I think about it. Blood Squad 7. I talked about issue 1 when it came out last month, and this
Yeah.
is spinning out of the series The Dutch, the 4-issue series that I also really liked. Just the quick recap. This is a book that is essentially replacing the 90s book Youngblood, written and drawn by Rob Liefeld. And Rob Liefeld has since lost the rights to Youngblood, and it is no longer part of the Image universe. So Joe Casey is basically creating a new team that fills the role that Youngblood filled. Which is they're superheroes that are also famous celebrities, and it's
Oh.
this kind of funny, like a dichotomy where they do like black ops, but they're also famous. So they do like secret missions, but they're also celebrities.
Well, do people? Well, you say Black Ops, so people don't know that they're
Correct.
doing
Yeah.
all this. Okay.
And this issue actually opens with a flashback to 1992, where one of the characters tries to get Savage Dragon to join the team. Savage Dragon, which is an original, like one of the early Image characters created by Eric Larson, who is still writing and drawing his own Savage Dragon comics to this day. He's
Nice.
he's the only Image founder, I think, that is still doing his book like completely by himself, for at least for as long and as consistently as, which is not that consistent, but more so than any of his peers.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, so yeah, we all respect Eric Larson for that. But yeah, I like this book a lot. It's just it's taking the premise seriously. It's about some like a government agent who's trying to put together this team of like superheroes to do like serious world-saving Black Ops stuff, and it's the theory is like a hide in plain sight kind of a thing. Like we'll just all be like famous celebrities, but the public won't. They'll be too distracted by how famous we are to pay attention to the things that we're doing.
How does that even make sense? Just paparazzi, I feel like, would get in the way.
I apologize. Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, and I'm sure that's going to play a part into the story. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
it's
good. Is that my water? Is that
No,
yours?
that's
I'm not going to drink your water, Celeste.
Is that one yours?
No, that's not mine either.
Oh.
But yeah, Blood Squad 7, if you like. I think I've talked about the book Local Man a lot,
Yeah.
which is another book that's kind of a throwback to 90s Image superheroes. This book is like a sibling to that. Like it just falls right in line with my water. I don't know where my water is. It got left somewhere.
Water bottle number 8.
I know,
Somewhere
right?
out there.
It's out there. It is numbered. All right, let's see. Let's talk about.
Also, I lied. I don't have just 2 more.
Okay, well
I forgot about these.
let's blast through. What time is it? We are just.
Let's go.
We're gonna blast through it. So
Yeah.
another book that comes out tomorrow that's worth taking a look at.
Oh, yeah.
Anansi Boys. This is an adaptation of the Neil Gaiman novel. It's adapted by Mark Bernardin and art by Sean Martinborough. So I've never read Anansi Boys. I've read a handful of Neil Gaiman books, like both comics and novels. But I never did get around to reading Anansi Boys. But I know a friend of mine that did, and he said he really liked it. So I was curious to take a look at this to see how, like I didn't read the book, but I'm curious to see how they handled the adaptation of it. And I thought it was really well done. Like the story unfolds really cleanly. I was a little worried, like when you have comics that are adapted from novels. Yeah, exactly. Can't go wrong with Egyptian mortuists. Comics that are adapted from novels sometimes tend to be really wordy because they want to like keep all of the prose in the comic.
Yeah.
But this doesn't really do that. There's like an introduction that's like clearly like the introduction from the
scene,
book,
Yeah.
and then it lets the scene play out. Like you just have the characters talking, and you let the
Ooh.
art tell the story. So I'm really
I like that.
yeah,
I appreciate that a lot.
It's really really good. It's not overwritten, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The story is pretty straightforward. The main character is this guy who finds out that his dad dies. He has a terrible relationship with his dad, and then I don't know if it's that much of a spoiler, but because it's kind of the selling point of the book. But he finds out that his dad is a god essentially, and so
Hey, yo.
yeah, exactly right. Good work if you can get it.
Yeah.
But it's this beautiful cover by David Mack. Also, by the way, I love David Mack's artwork. So yeah, this is a good looking book. If you haven't read Anansi Boys, you might want to check this
Wait,
out.
So is he kind of like a demigod? Has some powers from his
Well,
father?
that's what's probably going to find out as the story unfolds. Like I said, I didn't actually read this before
Yeah, maybe I should
today.
read.
So yeah, spoiler. I know. Yeah, shush, shush. But yeah, I recommend it. It's good. It's cool. Like it's genre fiction without being like rooted in comic book genre fiction, if that makes sense. Like it's a supernatural
Yeah.
adventure story. But yeah,
Yeah.
really really good. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about this one right here. We'll get
All
this one
right.
out of the way. I know you were very. I know a few people that are probably very excited to read this. This is Giant Size Little Marvels by Scotty
Scotty
Young.
Young.
Now, first of all, I just want to say I appreciate very much the pun of Giant Size Little Marvels. Yeah,
It's
that's good.
beautiful.
So I picked this up and I flipped through it, and I really like Scotty Young's artwork. And this is, I don't know what
Hmm.
the only way I can describe it is it's exactly what I expected it to be.
They're just these cute little chibi Avenger characters. And
Yeah,
also, there's villains in here, but they're not ever fighting. They're all super chill with each other,
yeah.
which I
There's Doctor
appreciate.
Doom, Loki, and Red Skull.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, can I join you guys? No, no, you
No.
can't. But yeah, they're all just hanging out, just fun little
Yeah.
stories. I think there's 4 different short stories in here. And so Captain America, I think, is the most different, I guess, from the Captain
From, like,
America
his
that,
original-
yeah, his original character.
Hmm.
But I love seeing all of them. We've got a little Deadpool
Oh
over
my
there.
gosh. He's got a little
The way
dart
they're all
gun.
drawn is just so adorable, so cute.
It
I like
looks-
how the Avengers headquarters is this
The
treehouse.
treehouse, yeah.
So we got a Captain America story, a Tony Stark story, and then who else? I know Doctor
Thor.
Doom at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm forgetting who's the middle. Wait, flip
Black
it.
Widow.
No, flip it just a little. This is still Tony Stark's story.
Which way am I flipping it? Celeste.
This way. Maybe I should be.
You
in
should be
control.
flipping it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy.
How did I forget about
How could
them?
you
I
forget
love
about
them.
Rocket Raccoon?
Yeah. I literally love Groot. Look at him.
Literally,
He's
you
just-
literally
he's
love
so
Groot.
Cute. Yeah, that's my baby right there. But
Thanos,
yeah, so this one is a lot of fun. They're going around trying to find the Death Stone.
Mm.
You know.
Well,
the-
Thanos.
The Death Stone.
Thanos
Everyone knows
is in
about
love
that.
with death. Like
Yeah.
that's the character
Yeah.
trait.
But yeah, highly suggest this one. It's
Mhm.
super cute, fast read, adorable.
It reminds me a lot of there was a fan webcomic from a long time, like a decade ago, over 10 years ago, called the JL8, and it was like the Justice League if they were all like 8 years old and in school together.
Okay.
But that was an unlicensed fan comic. This is an
Yeah.
official Marvel book, so I think somebody was like, "Hey, why don't we just do that ourselves?"
Yeah, love it.
And of course, Scotty Young, he's like tailor made for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very good.
Finally, we have a comic like that.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got 2 more books to talk about. Well, 2 more. We got a couple of more books, but we're gonna blast through them. Really quick, let's talk about William of Newbury, #2.
Yeah.
We talked about issue 1 when it came out, and we both really loved it. So I don't know if there's a whole lot more to say about it that we didn't say in issue 1. But I don't know about you, Celeste. I love the art. I really like the story.
I love how nonchalant he is about exorcising demons. Like that little smug face at the bottom.
He's praying.
Yeah, and later there's like a bunch of dogs barking. He's like, "Oh, it's just a ghost.
It's just
like
a ghost.
it's just a
Yeah.
spirit. Nothing to worry about."
The art in this is just fantastic, though.
yeah.
It's really, really good. And the characters are fun, too. I really like the dynamic between this character, the thief, who's like
Yeah.
kind of his escort following him around. They have like a deal where he's going to teach her to read, and she's going to like protect him from bandits and other things.
Yeah.
Really, really good story. Really fun characters, really great art. I love the like the medieval, like
Yeah.
not totally horror, but like supernatural spookiness of it.
Like it's fun and childish, but still spooky.
Yeah, it's I would describe it as like almost like a gateway horror book where it's like it's creepy enough, but it's still appropriate for kids so that they can experience horror but not like be completely freaked out. Like Feral, I would not recommend Feral to kids.
No.
that's
No.
that's maybe another level up. But William of Newbury, I
Love
really
it.
really liked it. Yeah, I loved it even. All right,
I think that might be my pick of the week.
that's your pick of the week.
Yes.
That's a pretty good one.
I have to
Yeah,
think through all the yeah.
I really like it. Like it's solid. One more book that I definitely want to talk about, and actually, I'll tell you, this is a contender for pick of the week. This is Zatanna.
Nice.
I have no attachment to the character of Zatanna. I'm aware of her just as a DC character, and she was in some episodes of Batman, the cartoon that I liked.
As
but-
someone who knows nothing about her, is she a hero or a villain? Let's start there.
She's a hero,
Okay.
but she's like, so this story is kind of like about her not really wanting to be a superhero because she's also a performer. So she is
Ooh.
she's a magician,
Oh,
like where
she's
she does
young. Yeah.
tricks. But well, so this is like a flashback to her,
Oh.
like this traumatic event that she was involved in. But her dad is like a sorcerer, and so there's this whole dynamic where she does fake magic, but she also knows real magic, but she doesn't
I
want to do
am
real magic.
loving the coloring on that.
So that's what I was
Wow.
about to say. I will say the story is solid. It's a really good first issue, but it is definitely put over the top by the art. Like this art is just
Yeah.
beautiful. The colors are really great, like psychedelic, but they're muted when they need to be muted. Just I This is one gorgeous looking comic. This is a Black Label book, so it's disconnected from all other continuity. It's just a like a Zatanna story. Oh, you're waiting for that Frieson variant, the Jenny Frieson variant for issue 2. I might have to buy that before you can get it, Dan. But yeah, it just looks really cool looking comic. She's a Vegas performer. She does a show in Vegas. Fight. Okay, I don't want to fight you, Dan.
Also, Dan, you left your comics here
Yeah, he does that every Tuesday.
every
He'll be
Tuesday.
back tomorrow. But yeah, I don't want to spoil the story too much. But it's like the setting is that she does this show in Vegas. She's got this traumatic event in her past that she doesn't want to acknowledge, and she doesn't call herself a magician, even though she's clearly doing some weird stuff. But
Yeah.
she insists that it's all just sleight of hand. Like
So what does she call herself, like a wizard? Like, what do you mean?
she says she does tricks, which
Oh.
is
My
in
dog
certain
does tricks.
in certain contexts that's inappropriate, but yeah, it's like there's the big like moment in this is that she notices that there's a person that's been coming to her show like every day for the last week, and so she starts
In
to get
disguise.
yeah, in disguises no less. So she's like, oh, this I've got a stalker, and so it's really really good. I highly recommend it. I think our mutual friend Abby is gonna love it because she really loves Zatanna. Although
Yeah.
she's so far behind on her reading, she's probably not gonna read this until next month.
No.
So Abby, I'm telling you now from the past, read this book. You will love it. And when you watch this stream like in a month, you'll. I guess it won't do anything, but whatever. Okay.
Just stick it in her poll.
I'll just put it in her poll preemptively. I know she's going to get it. Okay. You had 2 other books. We were talking
other
earlier
books.
today about some kids books because you needed some
Yeah.
kids
So,
book
I
suggestions.
got 2 little cousins coming into town, and so I tend to read a lot of kids' books for them. As far as age range, maybe around 3-ish, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Just cute stories that you could read them, and
Yeah.
let's start with
You
this.
don't have to
So
flip
this is-
through it.
Yeah,
We
so
can
this one is
we have the other
Dewdrop.
camera
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
Forgot about that. Forgot that we have 2 cameras.
Yes.
But this one is Dewdrop. This is my favorite. I recommend this to everybody who comes into the store
So,
looking.
what is this made-up creature that doesn't exist? What's it called?
An axolotl,
An
and they're
axolotl?
real.
It's like a
okay?
Pokemon.
Yeah, but they're
real. It's like a
which
real
makes
life
it extra
Pokemon.
cool. Yeah. So a lot of kids' stories. Sometimes I always have to read through it because sometimes it doesn't always give the right message, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
I
But
like
this one
frog.
is super cute. Yeah, the frog's cute.
Or
So
toad,
they're all
maybe.
underwater.
Okay, if he's underwater, he's a frog.
Yeah, so we have this is our main character, and then we have 3 of their friends, and they're just doing different things for a festival. And basically, they all have some self-doubt going on, except our little axolotl friend who goes around and gives joy and kindness to everybody and cheers them on, and it's super cute. So I bought it already for my little cousin, but I have 2 more little cousins coming to town, and I think I need to buy it again.
The character goes around just bringing joy to people and doing fun things. You know who that reminds me of? Our friend Dan.
Wow.
Not you, Celeste. No.
But yes, yeah, Dan's our little cheerleader.
He is our little cheerleader.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, make sure we order Shock City. I saw your message the other day, but we will do that.
Got it. I gotta make a note of it, otherwise I'll forget.
Write that down. Well, I got the message. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you bought Dewdrop before, you said.
Yes.
Of course,
and
because
I think
it has
I need to buy it again.
because it has a Pokemon in it.
A real Pokemon though.
Okay, and what's the other book that we want to talk about here?
Owlie. So I was asking for more
Owlie.
recommendations. I have not read this one, but
This
Aaron has.
is the one that I recommended.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot to say about Allie other than it's just cute stories about a little owl fella, and I like the art a lot. I think what makes this a good all ages kids book is that it's most of the story is told visually, so there's like some text, but a lot of it is almost like this one isn't, but a lot of the stories are like almost silent stories. So it's a good young readers book because they can understand the story through the art really well, but then you can read the little stuff here and there. See, like Allie communicates with like pictures, which I
Aw.
think is a good way to teach kids how to read because they're able to read the words and then draw the connection between the visuals of what they're seeing. So
Yeah, right,
Allie
I
is
love
really
that.
good for that. And yeah, there's just like cute stories like this like worm family
And I like
Allie.
how long this one is, because my little cousin, when she wants me to read a bedtime story, it's never just one.
Yes.
It's never just one. So,
But yeah, so I like Allie a lot. Allie's a cute character.
yeah. Oh, look at that little guy.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, highly recommend Owly. You know, if I mean, you don't have to be a little kid to read it. I enjoyed it
Oh, it's
quite
what
every time I
all
read it. I
ages.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Owly, you know, he's pretty wise for his age. I think. You know, he's no he's not necessarily the owl in the Secret of Nim,
Okay.
that ancient wise owl. But you know, he's a little younger, wise beyond his years, maybe, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I got. That's my joke.
Nice. All
Okay,
right. That's it,
we're
I
done for the
guess.
week. We're
Yay.
stopping. Thank you, fellas and ladies, for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed the stream. You know, like our friend Dan says, there's a lot of comics out there for everybody.
For
So
everybody.
it's all different kinds.
Yeah.
So come on into Fantasy Books and Games, buy your books. If you can't get them from us, get them from somewhere because I just want people to read comics. I love comics, and I want to spread that love. So
Yeah.
yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.